filmed in Southern California, but they have these little bulbous looking things as well. Everything I see reminds me of her. All right, I made it over to the Tampa Fairgrounds. This thing gets pretty good gas mileage when you, as fast as you were going. I was trying to pretend that this was your car.
Oh.
We just also realized that there is a shark con going on also here at the convention, the Florida State Fairgrounds, I should say. So we might pop into Shark Con after we do the Toy Con. We're gonna do a lot today. We're gonna add on. You never know how a day's gonna go. This is also the Planet. Wow, that's weird. Planet Express here on the Ecto Ghostbusters car. All right, to the collectibles. I was at this event a year ago in the same building. Shark Con is on the other side of the property in the main building. This is in a little smaller building, nice and intimate. Over into the Special Events Center. Entrance over this way. Look at all those clouds up there. 90 degrees out here right now.
90 on the blacktop.
I can feel that heat coming off. I'm not even looking for anything in particular, but I'm sure I will walk away with something. Oh, here's the Florida State Fair emblem. Right here, a little plaque. This building was built February of 1999. This particular building where they're having this version of it. $15 admission. Got our wristbands here for the $15. We'll look at some retro goodness.
Okay, that price. So the prices are on?
Most of them are. The ones I put in new sleeves, they don't have the price.
Yeah, you get Dreyfus to sign that at Shark Con.
Black Sabbath Tour Book, 1976. Look at them. They're just...
Oh, a lot. Good amount of booths in here. Wow. Oh, and speaking of the Ecto, here's another one over here. Look at Slimer over here. Look at Slimer over at the end of the Ecto. Take a look at all the Jaws stuff up here. You got Jaws, Jaws 1, and filmed in Orlando. I've never seen that Jaws 3 poster before. That's kind of cool up there. The third dimension interior, Jaws 3D. Filmed at SeaWorld Orlando. Yeah, this is a great Slimer. Look at this, like a little movable animatronic-esque type of Slimer over here. Oh, there he is right there. You know, Slimers everywhere in here. Love it.
All right, guys. We'll move that, and I wanted to. I'm gonna try to open the future shows as some kind of video, but this video here is of Adam the Woo at our show last year, not this past July, but the July before that. And yesterday was his birthday. He would have been 52, which is just crazy. I don't know why I get all goofy on this, but he would have been 52. He's a great friend of the show, and so I just wanted to recognize him here on the this week. Anyway, all right, we're gonna move forward. Okay, so I just, he loved that was the last time I talked to him, actually. So all right, so this last weekend we had GI Joe, and I want to thank Mike for coming out. Hopefully you guys had a good vacation and you're ready to go back to work. All right, and so anyway, so let me go ahead and make myself a little bit bigger here. Okay, so this last weekend, this last Sunday, we had GI Joe Star Wars. It is a show that we've been doing for a long time. Excuse me. Oh, let's close this. Sorry, guys. I'm a little, I have some notes and stuff that I'm going to go over, but this is kind of like an off week, but I'm staying, there's lots of stuff to share here for you. Anyway, all right, so we had the Star Wars and GI Joe show, and of course we had Susanna, who's a handful. I don't know how to describe her. And she would say she's a shit show. That's what she would say. But anyway, she was a good time. Always a good time if you talk to her. And we had Keone Young, a Storm Shadow there, who was also, it was a really good guest. Really nice to talk to. I talked to him after the show and a little bit before the show. He had great conversations. He loved being here. We will have him again as soon as we can, align dates and try to get him to another show. My hope is to bring him to Tampa next, but we'll see what happens. I'm also I would like to try to get him and Greg together, Greg Berger, voice of Grimlock, and a bunch of voices in both G.I. Joe and all that. But hopefully we can have them back. As far as the Star Wars and G.I. Joe show that we would have started, we started out at the Acme comic shop, and then we moved it to VFW, and then now we moved it to the hotel. I really think because we hadn't done one of these in about a year, and I just feel like this has kind of run its course. Not that there was anything wrong with the show this weekend. It's just that we're now running regular shows. People are used to us running regular shows. I'm used to running a regular show where it's not themed. Okay. And I think that for me, the attendance is just, it doesn't make sense for me to do it. Honestly, I mean, when we're cutting our attendance in half or by 2/3 because we're doing a themed event, I think it's just not a good idea for us anymore. It was fine when we were starting out and I was using this show as a filler. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to do it. I'm just telling you my thoughts today. And today, I just feel like, we're not in the theme show business. We're in the toy show business. And my feeling is that I just need to focus on what we do. It's taken us 7 years basically to figure this out. And not that we're perfect. Okay. We're always trying to improve, which I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I just think that, when I started, the Star Wars G.I. Joe was kind of a fill-in where I never thought I could do more than one show in a month. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll just use the Star Wars G.I. Joe as kind of a fill-in show. Well, now we're doing 2 shows a month. So I really don't need a fill-in show that is more like kind of just like a niche show. I will say that I do want to do small niche shows, but they're going to be when I have a building. I'm still looking. I'm always kind of keeping an eye out. I'm not in the position to do that right now with, to rent one right this minute, but I am in the past and in the future. I'm going to be on the lookout for the right building. I'm always looking for the right building to where I can have some of my stuff or have stuff, and then we can have like small, like Acme style. I'm going to say old Acme comic shop, where we had about 1,500 square feet with about 20 tables, 25 tables. And then, and have, when we're not doing a show, maybe or during the week or whatever, we can have them anytime. So that's my goal for the future, is to be able to have that, where we can have a little Star Wars show, or we can have a Barbie show, or we can have a Hot Wheels show, even maybe that is centered around one thing. But right now, I don't have the time to do that. And all my time really should be spent on full events somewhere. In my opinion, that's just the way that I think. Now, that being said, I did have a guest, a customer, come up to me on Sunday and talked about a holiday Star Wars show and how they buy, I don't typically do shows in December because the attendance is terrible. Any show will tell you, any promoter will tell you, anybody that's done it, the holiday shows are just terrible. I mean, there's vendors that want to do the show, but my thing is if a vendor comes to the show and they're new and they go to a December show where, let's say, normally you would have 800 to 1,000 people and only 300 people show up, unfortunately, the vendor blames the show and says, "Oh, this show's garbage," and and then they don't come back, especially if they're new and they haven't really done too many shows with us. But it's not the show. It has nothing to do with the show. The show is promoted the same way every show. Okay. Sometimes we spend more, sometimes we don't. Okay. But basically, I'd spend similar amounts depending on if it's a 1 or 2 day show. You certainly on 2 day shows, I'm able to spend more. But and that's going to change also a little bit in the future. I plan on putting more into it. But my point is that it's not the show. It's the timing of the year. It's the weather. It's what people are, their mindset is. And the people that are coming to our show, in my opinion, they are coming to buy for themselves. They're not buying, they're not coming to the toy department to buy their kids something necessarily. They might be, but the bulk of the people that are coming to our show, they're looking for stuff for themselves, their own collection or whatever. And so the mindset changes at Christmas time to buy gifts. And that's just what I feel. Well, Brian, I think for the vendors, for the most part, I really think it depends on what you are selling. Okay. At the Star Wars show, if you have vintage Star Wars, that's what people are looking for. If you have something else other than vintage Star Wars, I don't think you're doing that well. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. So, I mean, sure, Mark Moriarty had a hell of a day because he always, he has a customer base. He has customers that look for him and know he's coming, or know he's going to have some special stuff. So, I think that a lot of you guys with good vintage stuff, you're going to do well. Okay. Whether there's 400 people or there's 1,000 people, you should do well. Okay. As long as you price your stuff very well. But, thank you for that. And I think a lot of people did do well. I'm just saying for me to spend the time, the effort, the money, is I basically broke even. Okay. I didn't make anything. It was basically free labor. Okay. For me. And I'm not in this for that. Okay. So it doesn't make sense for me to do a show with 400 people, which is roughly what we had. Okay. When I can do a show with 1,000 people. All right. And it's not my show. It's the fact that I narrowed it down to two genres of stuff instead of having it for everybody as a regular toy show. So, because, to put it in perspective, in April, we had 1,000 people and it was a record Star Wars show, but it's just not, it's not a regular show. And I think all of us would say that, you want to spend your time on what is the most valuable of your time. And I'm going to go back to Adam the Woo's video. Adam was 51 when he did that and had no clue that he wouldn't be here, a year from now, a year from then, and had big plans. I mean, he was only 51 and I'm older than that. I mean, my hair might think that I'm like 60 or something, but I'm really not. I'm only 54. So, what I'm saying is, after 30 years of working for myself, I want to maximize my time and I don't want to waste it. So, I'm going to try to focus on what works, and that is my regular shows. Hey Zeta, thanks for trying to reach out. I didn't listen to your message yet, but I'm going to assume maybe you want to come to Melbourne, and I got to find space. So I have a long list of people for Melbourne that want into the show. Now, before I leave, I do want to say again, the Star Wars GI Joe show is great. It's always been a great show. Me personally, I did tell my wife, I'm like, she's not going to agree with me, but I kind of liked it at the VFW a little bit because it fits that show. I was thinking that, hey, if we move at the hotel, people will do like room sales, maybe, but the reality is Florida is just not built for that. It's just not, we've got to have a lot more promotion time. We've got to have a lot more. You got to work on this show. And I just don't have time for that. Maybe somebody else does, but I'm not trying to make it into, TK was at the Star Wars Rebel Scum thing, in Texas. I'm not trying to do that. I've got a business plan now, or a plan of being, of just these toy shows, and we do a lot of them, and I just want to make them better and better, and and do some other things, and then when I'm not doing those, I want to be able to do some other stuff, like visit other shows. um thanks Toy Warp for watching from YouTube. Please subscribe if you guys have not. Even if you're watching me on Facebook, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. Hopefully, maybe Toy Warp, maybe he can help me out or whatever. But I'm going to be working on more stuff. We're going to have like a podcast. Like I was talking to Mark Moriarty earlier today, and I said, we should have recorded this for a podcast for the show, because he calls me after the show, and we'll talk about different things about the show, what he sold, and what how he did, how he thinks other people did, and this and that, and then I talk about what we could have changed, and so I thought that would be a great little recording, and so I think I'm going to try to do way more of that. And Andy was out there with the chocolate. I appreciate your support. I know I didn't see you on the Altamont list for the October show, so maybe you got something else going there, Andy. And then let's see, Dungeon Sounds. Okay, you told me that you were registered on a Dungeon Sounds. Hey, yeah, it was a pretty good show. I mean, I'm just, for me, I just feel like I want to work on the bigger events. That's all. It was a good show though. And again, Susanna was a great neighbor, and me and my brother. Okay, cool. And you know what? And I appreciate Joel, your brother, Kyle. I think it is. He helped me out there at the end. Bought some other stuff from her because she had like a small, guarantee, and she did make that, and I'm really glad of that. So that helped me out quite a bit. And then James was there all the way from Tennessee buying stuff. Thanks for coming down, and thanks for promoting the shows. And Mike, I heard you were at the mall show on Saturday. I don't know how that went, but if you can share if you want here. Butch was there with you, was there also. I guess, but he said there was a lot of people, but maybe, but went to meet Keone Young, very nice person. Yeah, he is. He's kind of quiet, Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out, kind of read him there. And let's see. You don't know your customer base. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Mike. And thanks, Trent. Well, cool. We're missing you. We're looking forward to seeing you in Bradenton next there. I need to get with you on Altamont though too if you're coming, because I'm gonna make sure I got enough space for you guys. I mean, as far as space you want, not the space that you had last time. All right, thanks. Cool. Yeah, Jason, I'm gonna hitting you up. Yeah, this is, but I need to do more. Okay, I need to do more, Mike. You know, I mean, hey, I don't really watch sorry. I don't really watch Ryan from Toy Federation. I mean, I think I subscribe on there, but I don't really watch them because I don't know. There's nothing personal. It's more like um, I don't know. I some people get into this the negotiation of toys. I probably need to watch so I because then I could really actually talk about it. But I have this idea that I'm going to be seeing these these people are going to be bringing in their stuff, and then the toy store is going to be like hitting them with these kind of low prices that they have to do that because that they're buying, they're reselling. So I don't really want to watch that, so I just kind of like, okay. But sometimes they'll have some stuff on there, but I don't watch on a regular basis. But I did notice he had like hard to find toys or something, and he had like 86,000 views or something on that thing. I'm like, what am I doing? Man, I need to do more of this. So definitely going to do that. And then also Keanu said that on this show, I mostly talk about vendor stuff, which I do. But he, him pointing that out to me, like made me think, okay, I need to talk a little bit more about, about what's at the show and just more some stuff that's more interesting to more than vendors. And that's from a volume buyer. There was a lot of stuff across various vendors that I ran out of time. Yeah. There is always a lot of good stuff at the Orlando shows. I wish I could get some of these Orlando guys, like Brian Rohr. I mean, he only does Orlando shows, but or I guess he does do Coco too, but I'm okay. And then Pat will be up, and he'll be at the Melbourne show, and he'll be at the St. Augustine show, which is really the Jacksonville show. Let me just go to the schedule real quick, and you'll see it says North Florida Collector Fest. Really, this is at the World Golf Village. I need to actually add some text here at the Marriott. The reason why this show is here is because we've been at the Embassy Suites for probably 3 or 4 years. It's just too small. We get about 800 people for the September show, or even the April show. And the reality is the building is just too small, and so I had to move it. And the only place I could move it right now is the World Golf Village, which is about 20 minutes south. So this is a one-day show. Usually we've had a 2-day show, but this one is the one-day show. Okay. And so we're trying it out here. Plenty of space for everybody. In fact, I do have tables. I do just want to mention that I do have tables for that. So all the people that are trying to get in for this August 23rd, go on to the next show. I know that's almost a month later, but that's the next show I have openings for. So let me go ahead and move on from that. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, I guess you had a good time up there at the. Okay, Paul. Hey, go. As long as they aren't too far away, collect 12-inch Joes, find great stuff. Melbourne will be okay. Cool. There will be 12-inch Joes at the show. I had somebody actually that wanted to sell some. So Paul, I don't know. Maybe if you want to, someone post it on either an email or something. But send me your info, and I might be able to connect you with that. Okay. Now he brought up something about going to all of the shows, and I want to mention something here that was mentioned to me this weekend, and that is annual passes. So if someone, I don't know, and you guys can say yay, nay, whatever. But we had probably, well, I had one main customer say, hey, when are you going to have an annual pass? Now, I want to give credit where it's due. And my friend Jay Harvey mentioned this probably 3 years ago. Said you should have annual passes, and I just thought, I don't. We're not really doing enough, or something. But now I do. Now that the customer said, "Oh, hey, I would buy an annual pass." So I'm playing with the idea of an annual pass. It would include, someone said about doing like a 6-month pass, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. So, because, and the reason why is because it's too complicated. In my opinion, it's too complicated to, keep track of, I know someone said, the person that mentioned it said something about punching the lanyard. I don't really want to destroy any stuff. So this is going to be a special, maybe limited to maybe 100 or so. It's going to be, it's not for everybody. Okay. But I think the pass is right now I'm playing with the idea of being $199. That gets you into every show of the year, wherever it is. Again, I know that sounds like maybe a lot, but we would also let people in, I think 30 minutes early, and you'd have a special lanyard that you'd have to get in the show. So you wouldn't pay anything to get in the show. We would also have a group, maybe a video or something. You would get special stuff, video information and different things that only that group is going to have access to. So I've got all these ideas for it, but I am throwing out that I think I might try to sell these maybe in October and for 2027. So once you buy it, you get the show for the rest of the year, and then you would get the 2027 also. So you would again have a badge, and that would get you in, and you would get in early. This is kind of an upgrade from the super collector thing that we're trying to do last year. And again, it's not for everybody. It may not be, your thing, but we do have our regular customers that come to multiple shows, and we have people that say, "Hey, can I get in early?" Which I think to me is really the, besides just getting in and not worrying about the wristband or whatever. I think the early thing is the thing. I've got some other ideas that I'll share later once they're kind of flushed out a little bit, but this is something that I want to mention here on the show. Okay. Yeah, Butch was my neighbor, helped him out. Oh yeah, he needs that. Okay. And Melbourne. Yes. You doing Melbourne. Okay. I believe I'm sure I have you on the map then. And Alex, I'm working on getting you on the map. Okay. So I think I'll know tomorrow for sure what's going on there. Hey, Marco, we're looking forward to seeing you in Melbourne. And hopefully you got great stuff there, new stuff. I mean, he always has good stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. He's got good stuff. I'm being goofy. Yep. Okay. Mike says, good idea. Maybe get a shirt. Yeah. I think I would have that as an upgrade. Because I want to make it, but yeah, because the last time I did shirts, it was kind of I didn't have the right sizes. And so it'd be kind of a thing where when you ordered your pass online or whatever, I would order a specific shirt for you. But annual pass for vendors. I don't know. I think what I would do is I'd have to think about that, man. Super vendor annual pass.
Yeah, but if we had a super vendor pass, then you would be vending at the shows.
Well, what he's saying, Lisa, is if he was doing every show of the year, I mean, that would be a flat cost or something. I don't. I'd have to think on that because that would be very limited. I wouldn't be able to do. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. So okay, 30 minutes early, carry weight was serious. Yeah, and I think so. I think that to me, the other thing I came up with is having and James, you talk to Mark Moriarty a lot, but so when you're at the show, so which is how I think you got to our shows, but basically what we might do is we might have like a group of people that are in that I'm going to call them super collectors that are annual pass holders, and we might have a group of toys that maybe came in and we're going to do a special grail auction or a grail sale or something like that, and only those people would be notified because they're super buyers or something like that. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm trying to exclude anybody. I like to have stuff at the show, but that's part of what people are buying when they come in early. I went to the Red Line show, Red Line Jackpot in Vegas. You guys probably remember that, and they had like an auction, and they had all these. I mean, these were like super. I hate to use the word rare because everybody and their brother uses freaking rare, and it drives me absolutely crazy. But when most stuff is not rare, okay, but anyway, these high-end cars, I mean, I wasn't buying them. They were like, I don't know, anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 for a Red Line Hot Wheel. And it was just these 25 people in the room that were really interested in them. So, there is a group of people. Okay. All right. We hope we can be in it as well. Okay. All right. We'll figure it out. All right, Zeta, if I can find some space for you, I will hit you up. But right now I'm looking at the foyer tomorrow, and then I'm also looking to see if there's something that's next door or next to the space where I can put people. It's okay, Melbourne. Okay, I'm gonna work on that. Okay, let's see. This is somebody new. First time getting a table, been really working hard every day to make sure I got everything ready. All right. Cool. I assume you already have a table. I'm sorry your name doesn't look familiar to me, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a table. It just means I appreciate your interest, and I'm looking forward to meeting you for sure. Okay. You will know who the super vendors are. I don't need to review the records. I know who they are. I just don't know if I want to sell them all annual piece.
Pay more money for their tables. Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
You put it in Lisa's pocket.
For loyalty sellers. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Oh yeah, I do remember you. The dioramas, the new dioramas. Bill will also be returning for Melbourne. Okay. Let me talk a little bit about. Huh? Yeah, we're still open, Mr. Darth Fury himself. He said he'll say. All right, so Melbourne is a little over a week away. I am starting to use these QR codes, so if you for ticketing and stuff, or even signing up. So if you see the QR code on here, I'm going to try to print that on at least the online stuff. And you'll be able to get to the show there with ticketing and all that. We are going to have Keith Coogan back. Keith lives kind of local sort of to that show, so he will be back at the show. If you, just in case you missed him at the NostalgiaCon this weekend, but he's a great guest. And for these one-day shows, booking, having locals is, because some people might go, oh, well, he's been there, but he hasn't been to this show because we've never done this show. Okay. So, he's a good guest. And then, Corin and his wife, really like coming to the shows, and they're friends with the Coogans. So we're gonna have Corin at the show. I'm gonna surprise him with some stuff because I told him, I said, you gotta, I need to get, I gotta get him. I don't think he's used to doing shows, so I don't want to used to doing shows like not like the Cougans. They get around, okay, and Pinky, his wife, and both of them are very good, very good. If you talk to them, they're great guests. Pinky is on top. His wife, they have great product, everything, so they know what they're doing. Corin is a little bit. He's still working on. He's got. I assume he's got some filming, different stuff, and different stuff. I don't know. I talked to him briefly, but I'm gonna have some. Parker Lewis stuff that I'm bringing him that he doesn't probably know about right yet. But
He does now.
well, if he's watching the video, he knows. But
Cat's out of the bag.
I've ordered some stuff, and then I'll be bringing it to show him when I get there. He, said that people probably know him more about the Stargate, and that's 100% probably true. But Parker Lewis was they did 74 episodes, and he was the star of all 74 episodes. So I'm focusing more on that. Okay, so that's just I'm planning on getting Keone back. Where were you? I want him to sign the Buck Bokai baseball shirt, but I didn't get there. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we plan on having him back. He was very happy there, Mike, at the show, and wants to work with us again. So it's just a matter of putting the date and everything together, because he does try to do 2 shows a month. Yeah, I didn't say it. I didn't say it was a gift. I just said I'm bringing stuff. All right. So we are going to have both, again, Keith Coogan and Corin back at the at the Melbourne show. I am, for the future, we will have Jack O'Halloran. He contacted me, and I just need to get with Mary there. But he's planning on being in Bradenton that I know of, and I think Tampa at least, but possibly one other show. So, and then we've got some other new people that I'm working on. But just keep in mind that I don't have a lot of time to spend on getting guests. It's just enough for me to just get these shows organized and all of that. And his character in Deep Space Nine, which is Star Trek. I assume you're talking about Mike. Thanks, Mary, for chiming in there with Jack. Yes, Jack. He wants to come to Bradenton, so I just need to get you that info. And we need to check on, since you're on here, we need to check on Greg and Keone for the Tampa dates, if possible. That's what I would like to do. Now, I want to just talk about my schedule here. The schedule, we've got Melbourne, and then we got a little bit of a break over Labor Day. We've got then North Florida, and then 1 week off, and then it's going to be a frenzy for about 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. We'll have Bradenton, Kissimmee, Altamont. Kissimmee and Altamont is in one weekend, and awesome. Let's cool.
5 shows in 4 weeks.
Yeah, 5 shows in 4 weeks, guys, and then we're gonna have a break here after the Florida Extravaganza or the Tampa Bay Collector Fest, which is posted on our show. So I'm gonna show that a little bit in just a moment. But and then I did have the War Memorial hit me up today. That is in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know. I'm working out the logistics. Originally, that's in Fort Lauderdale. It's a nice building. I went and looked at it. I think I even showed it on a video. It's just some of the fees that they had were not, I just couldn't, like it was had to do with paying like StubHub or something like that. And I'm like, they're not marketing my show. Why am I paying them? So we're kind of working out. I think we can get rid of that. And then, so I'm just working out, trying to figure out how we can pull it off up down there. They do a, I don't know, some kind of craft show down there, but it's free. So I mean, of course they can, yeah, Marco, that's, I believe this is my theory, and I'll come back to that. But thanks. Let me finish with the War Memorial. So I'd like to try to do it. That would be November 8th if we were able to do it. So we would have a break there, and that's not on the schedule. The guy just hit me up yesterday before I got home, because I did stay at the hotel longer through yesterday morning to make sure the guests got all back to their houses in LA and all that. And then anyway, he contacted me. I emailed him back what we would need. And basically what I told him is I can't, because I think that space is about the same size as Coral Springs. So I just told him I can't exceed that price, you know what I mean, cost. So it needs to stay within that, my budget of price. Okay. I got to be able to, I can't, you guys probably don't realize this maybe, but let me just see where I want to remove this. When I go to a building, I know I have kind of a price that I want to try to stay within once I divide the space out into tables. And that is our $100 to $200 is where I want to be. I really, unless to go to the 250, I need a 2-day show. I want to try to stay within the $100 to $200. And so if I can't do that, then I am not renting the building. So, so anyway, so when these guys, they come up with these crazy prices, Avanti recently, hit me with like some, it was like double the cost of last year. And I'm just like, because there's a new manager there, it just is not going to work. So anyway, we're working on that. So there could be another show besides Lakeland, and I got to solidify Lakeland. Okay. For this date. The guy did tell me that date's available. And I just don't have a contract quite yet, but I'm going to work on that. Just got busy. So we might have a show on the 8th and the 14th, possibly. And then I don't think we're going to do anything in December, but it's possibility, but maybe. Because I keep getting asked about that. And then Marco, 2 shows in 2 places, 1 weekend. Yeah, that is the theory on this. Okay, is that I believe these are 2 different customers, other than the ones that are regulars. So our regulars, or those people that would buy an annual pass, they may not come to both the shows. Although I think there's going to be some different vendors. Marco might be at both shows, and maybe Mark Moriarty, but not necessarily like, I don't think Brian Rohr is at both shows. He's just at one. So it could be different vendors at different shows. And that's kind of cool. Okay. And then the other thing is, I just think that these are 2 different kinds of customers, or 2 different customers. One in Kissimmee, the people in Kissimmee don't want to drive 30 miles across town all the way over to Altamont, which is quite a lot of traffic to go through to go to a toy show. Okay. So now the other thing with the Kissimmee is that is the last time we're in the small space. I tried to move it to another date, even as recently as a couple of weeks ago, to try to move into the bigger room, but it no avail. And so all of these are listed online. I don't have the Polish Club one on there because it's basically sold out, but I'm going to handle that soon. for whatever's left. And then I even have the Coral Springs that was loaded today. So today, if you go to our this is our page on Eventany Company FL Toy Shows. You'll see all of our events, and you can go into any of these and see if you can apply for them. If you want to do that. The shows, we've hosted 83 events already with them. I think in like 3 years, I think. Something like that, or maybe 3 or 4. I don't remember. 2020, January 2022. So that's 4 years. 80 events. All right. Plus these ones, because I don't think this includes these 7 events. All right. Let's see. I think if we can set up Altamont the same day. Yeah, I have to check with that. Let me check in on that. Because I think I have either the spot that you were in this last weekend or the spot similar to that. I don't know if that takes a long time. Kissimmee, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in Kissimmee because I'm not using the big room. And so I don't think I'm going to do concessions with which they're going to have an issue with that. So I can get you into Altamont, Andy, I think right now if you sign up. But and speaking of that, I do have some aisles. I might have a wall left in Altamont right now. But the space is going to be exactly the exact setup that we had for Star Wars this last weekend. I rearranged the tables and everything. I took out the row that Andy, Chocolate, and Gary Moreau and Lisa was in this last April. I took that out and then I spread everything out, and so everybody could fit in there. All right, let me just check my notes to make sure I mentioned everything. Okay, I did talk about annual passes. I mentioned maybe a holiday Star Wars possible. I don't know. But in general, I'm shelving the specialty shows right now. It's not that I don't like doing them. They're just as much work as a big show, and I might as well just use my time for a big show. Okay. There are small shows that you can go to. I want to focus on Pam, I do still have your walls for Altamont, but I need to get with you. So okay. And then let's see, the War Memorial hit me up. Long list for Melbourne. Coral Springs is posted. I did show that. Kissimmee's basically sold out. I might have an aisle left. And that's it. I think St. Augustine. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I will be back next Tuesday with a full review, including setup and all that next Tuesday. I'm gonna work on coming up with some ideas for new. Well, I've got lots of ideas, but for videos and stuff, I just need to do more on it. But you guys enjoy your week. I don't even know what shows. Was supposed to be at the Woodward Dream Cruise in Detroit this week, but my car is not ready. It doesn't even have an engine in it. So when you build a car, make sure you have some patience. Okay. Pam is not doing Melbourne. We see Pam and Charlie a couple times a year now. I do want to, last thing I will say is we did have Joey Rulo at our show, which is kind of hasn't happened in a long time. But I got this Sasquatch Bigfoot $6 million man figure from him this last weekend, and I went to put it in my case and it doesn't fit. So I got to rearrange my shelving or something. But I just thought I'd share my one pickup I've got this weekend. So it was at he had it mixed in. He had some other case this in there, but pretty cool. It is complete, which is usually the problem with these. Stickers in good shape. Always has pretty good stuff. I remember Joey was one of the first people I met in the toy business back in 2018 when I was selling some stuff to buy a bike after my mom died to buy bike parts. I sold some toys, and he wiped me out. Him and another guy, they wiped me out before the show even started.
Okay, you were home by 9:30 that morning.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I bought some dreadnoughts from him afterwards, but I just realized I never knew there was people that they literally made a living selling toys and stuff at these shows. It was just a whole new thing for me, and I was like, man, why aren't there more toy shows? And that's after that I started to look into it, and then eventually I came up with the idea of just saying, screw it, I'm going to do a toy show. And here we are. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be doing toy shows, I might have believed you, but I would have definitely questioned it, because 10 years ago, I was doing car shows. Hey, brother, show here with the dog. Yeah, I'm just not caught up to that yet. Omi. I probably have a couple tables in the second room, but I don't have anything in the main room. I do know that. So that's why it's not posted, because it's basically sold out. I just have to go back through the map and see what I have left. But yeah, I know you guys are retired. I understand. You do what you can when in between visits with family. I understand. It's okay. All right. We'll see Marco and the crew next week. Yes, I definitely did. I'm focused now. So thank you, Mike. And so we will see you next week, next Tuesday, and we'll see you after that at the show. You guys have a great week. I'll post some stuff going on this week, and enjoy your week. All right, and the weekend. Have a good week, guys. Bye now.